We dated 5 days, got engaged, married 7 weeks later, 16 years and 4 kids later, we're basically still on our honeymoon, just with more laundry and fewer naps.
Welcome to the Marriage Made in Heaven, where love is real, grace is necessary, and your spouse definitely heard you. They're just ignoring you.
Every week, we serve up biblical truth, awkward confessions, and the kind of marriage advice that probably breaks some rules.
So whether you're single, married, or Googling how to survive your spouse, you're in the right place. Buckle up and let's get this party started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of the Marriage Made in Heaven podcast. We're so glad that you're here, listening, joining in, so that you too can have a marriage made in heaven. On episode 7, we are continuing with the story that has been one of the hugest milestones in our life of faith and trust in God. No matter what adversity you encounter in life, trusting God who is able to see you through, who can make a way where there is no way. So here's Allie laying in a room on, what would you call that? Just a nurse's bed? What do they call those things?
You guys, by the way, when we got married, Joshua never visited me when I was a pediatric ICU nurse. He's like, I hate hospitals. I've never come in. I'm like, no, seriously, we can have lunch together. Some of the husbands do that. You're like, I'm not touching it. So that is hilarious. It's just a hospital bed, babe. I was just
okay, a hospital bed. I was like, chair. It's not a chair. In the hospital bed, there's Allie laying in the hospital bed, just on the brink of passing into eternity, quite honestly. And my parents had just gotten back from China, underground church there. They came in. At this point, it's probably 1:12 a.m., maybe a little before that.
Yep.
It's after midnight for sure. And they come in, and my dad is happy. He's joyful. So is my mom, because my dad is a man of prayer and faith, and he knew that everything was going to be as fine as well. He was there commanding that not only Allie would live, but none of his seed would die before their time, because this was his first grandchild. Anna would be.
Yes, and actually, I just remember, you guys, so I am, like Joshua said, I'm ready for eternity. I mean, my whole body had shut down at this point. And when your parents came in, your dad is just so full of joy, just gets hit by the, I just like laugh about it, but he's just like, he's a brilliant man too, you guys. I mean, he has all the medical degree, he did pre-med, he's a scientist. He knows everything the doctors are trying to tell him about doomsday. And he's still like, just so rejoicing and joyful that we're gonna have a baby, his first grandchild is here. But Anna was flatlining on the monitor, meaning Anna wasn't doing well at all, meaning that her heart was stopping. And so my father-in-law told me, he's like, yeah, I commanded her spirit back in her body, because I saw that, but I didn't know what he was praying and hooking up with. I mean, I saw it like right there, right? I'm hooked up to everything. And he said, none of my seed will die before it's time. And Anna started coming back so powerfully that her heart rate started coming back, and she never flatlined again after that.
And you started coming back too. You started stabilizing.
Yes.
But then they're telling us, okay, we have to do this emergency C-section. Your body's getting stable enough where we can at least operate without you completely bleeding out.
Well, and that next miracle, babe, was the doctor said, the OBGYN on that night said, I will not operate on her. She'll die on my table.
Yes.
And after your parents got there, then we had that anesthesiologist come up, because I did start normalizing it. Anna had a heartbeat again, a solid one. And the anesthesiologist said, I saw on your chart that you work at the hospital that I worked at. Do you know this anesthesiologist? And of course I did. He was the intensivist on my unit. And I said, yeah, not only do I know him, like Joshua and I have been up to his Mammoth house, and I help house sit their dog when they're gone at Mammoth. And he looked at the OBGYN, he said, I can't let my friend's friend die. I'm gonna do everything I can. Let's go to the OR. And praise Jesus, he was also the first guy, remember that only person that congratulated me on being a mommy after Anna came out. But yeah, so then they rolled us in, Joshua and I, into the OR. I mean, you remember more of this because you were more lucid than I was.
Yeah, March 29th at 2:34 in the morning. They perform emergency C-section. Remember earlier I was saying I was getting squeamish at the blood squirting across the room when they went to go do the IV? Well, now I'm in it. I'm right there because I'm not going to leave her side. I had to stay out while they did the pre-op stuff. I don't remember if it was epidural or what it was to numb her up. But yeah, so I'm right there when they cut her open, everything. So I'm literally staring into my wife's guts. And it was the most surreal thing, the way that they open it up and peel everything back. It literally looks like she's cut in two, but I know it's not that bad. It's just the way they cut open the skin and fold it back. But it was wild, staring into my wife's guts, witnessing all of this going on.
So that's not a normal C-section, you guys. That was a classical C-section. We totally forgot to tell you that Anna stopped growing at 23 weeks. At 23 weeks, Anna did not grow, and so they brought me to a high-risk OBGYN who told me I need to terminate this pregnancy. And I remember leaving that and thought, I have already lost 3 babies. There is no way I am going to have this abortion. And I went back to my OBGYN and told him the report, and he said, I'm with you, and I will see you, and we will see this through. And so Anna did not grow, so I had no lower uterine segment for them to do a normal C-section because she was only 1 pound, 3 ounces at 29 weeks. She was supernaturally sustained. On our doctor records and medical reports, it says my placenta was shrapnel and there was 0 amniotic fluid. My friends, she is a true living miracle of Jesus supernaturally sustaining her from week 23 to 29 because I refused to give in to the fear and abort this sweet girl because I knew that God would give her life and life more abundantly. And then, my friends, when she came into this world, as only God could do, the neonatologist that was on call that night was a neonatologist at my children's hospital where I worked. So we got to have, I call her the ball of sunshine, there in the delivery room. And she told Joshua and I and everyone there, and then continued to tell every medical student that she would bring every Thursday to the NICU for the 105 days we were there. When this 1 pound, 3 ounce baby came out, the nurses around me were like, why would we even save her? She would be a burden to society and a burden on her parents. But Anna came out, she looked this doctor in the eyes, and the doctor said to Joshua and I, when this little girl looked me in the eyes, it was as if she said to me, I am meant to be here. And she said, I have never seen it in my life, and she has been practicing for a very long time. I've never seen a baby lock eyes with me with that kind of intensity. And Anna came into the world like that, knowing her purpose, knowing that she's here for a reason, and knowing God. I know that sounds crazy, but I feel like she met him before she came.
Yeah, I will never forget seeing Anna. Here she is, so thin, so gaunt, so little, 11 inches, 1 pound, 3 ounces, but she was so alert. She was looking around. And so I followed. Allie was in the operating room. As soon as Anna came out, I just followed her into all of the different areas where they do all the high level neonatal treatment stuff. And so I was right there with Anna, just speaking to her, telling her, it's gonna be okay, baby. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm your daddy, all this stuff. And it was, wow, what an amazing series of miracle after miracle after miracle, seeing her supernaturally sustained again and again.
So after like 6 to 8 hours of that, they actually brought her down. I was now admitted to the ICU, still very unstable. And they brought her in, and it was the Children's Hospital Chet team of where I worked. And they walked in, they said, Mama, you gotta fight her. She's a feisty one. And I got to put my hands on her and we prayed. And then they took her to the hospital where I was working, and I had to stay at the ICU. I don't know about you mamas, but that was not the way I thought it worked. I thought have a baby. They give me the baby. We go home together. But I actually did not get to hold my daughter until day 18. Day 18 was the first time that I ever got to put her into my arms. I ended up staying in the ICU for over a week for them to try to still bring this blood pressure down, to get my kidneys back functioning, to have me just be a normal human while Joshua was taking care of his wife and going back and forth to the NICU and coming back to see me. I'll never forget my brother Matt, who is one of my very best friends. I have 3 brothers and they're all extraordinarily awesome and just my closest people. He was flying out and he thought we were going to be hanging out, telling jokes. And I remember my sister-in-law texting him and say, hey, I'm going to pick you up at the hospital. I'm going to pick you up from the airport. And Allie's actually in the hospital and Anna was born last night. And my brother's like, wait, I'm sorry, what? Like, huh? And so I remember my sweet brother walking in to my ICU room with this huge duck, I mean, bigger than his face. And he's like, hey, you had a baby, congratulations. And just as he says that, the nurses that were in the OR with me last night walk into the room and they look at me and they said, I did not believe you were gonna live. We cannot believe that you're alive right now and talking and that Anna's alive. We did not think you were gonna make it. Immediately, Matt's face, when this huge smile goes to like, I'm sorry, what? What just took place? And he steps out of the ICU and he calls the family and he tells them this report. That's how everyone in my family got to find out about this miracle that Jesus did. Joshua did phone my parents that night. They were already in the car. They showed up right after Matt had gotten there. And then a couple days later, I finally got, what did they give me? Like a 2-hour hall pass with the doctors. As soon as I got to the Children's Hospital, taking my blood pressure, reporting back, they gave me a quick hall pass for me to at least go see Anna and have a family meeting about what this looked like. And I'll never forget, and even my colleagues at the hospital said, we've never had a family meeting where we had the entire oval table, which fits about 13, 14 people, completely filled with people that were so involved and such a loving environment of everyone being on board. Mind you, my family doesn't live locally. So the fact that we had my brother, my parents, we had Joshua's brother, we had his parents, Josh and I, and then the entire medical field that was involved, the team that was involved. And we were all there to just see God continue to do the miracle that he started. And that's just what he did. And we can't wait to share with you guys even more miracles that happened for her, but even more tools for you about communication in the tough times and really how to come together, not be drawn apart when you have real life experiences that can make or break your marriage. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right, that's it for this week. If you laughed, cried, or silently judged us,
Please hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss another episode, and share it with someone who might need that same reminder. You're not alone, and your marriage is worth fighting for.
we're cheering you on, praying for your journey, and grateful to be walking this out together.
See you next week, where we'll keep it real, keep it biblical, and probably overshare again.